Hello everyone, I am coming to you today to give you an update on a particular item that is of concern to a number of residents in our city and is of great concern to those of us in government, and that is the cryptocurrency moratorium. Sometime toward the end of last year, the City Council passed a moratorium on Bitcoin mining operations, and then just this past June, they extended the moratorium until September. The purpose of the extension was for all of us in city government to put forward and present an amendment to the zoning ordinance. It's an amendment that will make every effort to insist that entities that are in the Bitcoin mining industry operate as good neighbors. The difficulty that we're experiencing right now is the fact that many of the residents that live in proximity to these industries are experiencing difficulties with noise. So again, as I indicated, the moratorium has been extended through to September 13th of this year in the hope that we will ultimately have a final zoning ordinance amendment that will allow us to provide certain restrictions or at least to impose certain requirements on the companies that are in the cryptocurrency industry. Tuesday, July 5th, the City Council held a special meeting and referred the amendment to the Planning Board as is required under the Charter. The amendment itself is titled a high energy usage overlay district. And so what we're really doing is we're focusing on those industries that use an inordinate amount of power. And as a result, many times in those industries there are noise and or heat generating deficiencies, which obviously, we are all trying to make sure that we stay consistent with the state's requirements with regard to clean air and climate control. And so while we welcome these industries, we just want them to make sure that they are good neighbors. Businesses that are in the cryptocurrency mining industry have, over the course of time that they've been here, created disturbance in the industries that they're in, or in the neighborhoods rather that they're in. And so in order to limit that impact, our ordinance amendment rather, begins to set certain limits on sound. The limits are not only confined to decibel levels, but they're also scheduled with regard to certain times of the day and certain days of the week. The idea being that in certain times of the day or days of the week, individuals that are residing in the neighborhoods nearby, they're going to be using their backyards. They're going to be using the outdoor space that they have. And so these industries have to be mindful of that. And this ordinance will allow us to regulate that. Between the hours of 10 and 7, high energy use facilities would not be permitted to exceed a certain decibel level. The decibel levels are going to be measured at the property line of the industry so that we can determine whether or not that industry user is in fact is in compliance with our statute. Cryptocurrency mining facilities are going to be required to develop and purchase renewable energy to offset the energy that they use. One of the things that we also thought would be important is how in fact these industries, these facilities stack up within the parcel that they're using. Many of them are bringing in storage containers and then outfitting them with servers in order to process the information that is part of their data mining facilities. So what we are doing is we're going to require certain specified setbacks, both from their property line in the front and their property line on the side. By pushing them back farther into their property, we hope as well to limit some of the noise. We think that the overlay district, which will confine these facilities to certain locations in industrial or business park locations within the city will limit some of their proliferation. One of the things that we are hoping will happen is that at our public hearing, which is scheduled for July 27th in the City Council chambers that evening, 6 o'clock, we hope that residents that are in these areas will come out to express their desire that this ordinance be passed by the board and then again referred back to the City Council for inclusion into our zoning ordinance. This is an important zoning ordinance amendment. It's important for the quality of life of so many of our residents. It's important too that technology and the technology industries are emerging industries. And the City of Niagara Falls wants to welcome those emerging industries into our community. However, we want to make sure that we're doing it in a way that is also consistent with the quality of life of our residents. So I would urge individuals who either have family members or themselves reside in areas that are adjacent to or they have experienced a disturbance from these cryptocurrency mining facilities to show up at the public hearing on July 27th to express your concerns and to make sure that the board understands the need for the city to embrace this zoning ordinance in order to be able to manage this industry in a way that's consistent with their growth, but also consistent with the quality of life for our residents. So again, that public hearing will be July 27th, City Council chambers at 6 p.m. Again, please make sure if you're impacted by this or if you're just interested in making sure that our community does right by our residents, then please show up for that hearing. Thank you.